Report was laid on table yesterday. No, just a minute. If you feel comfortable that the debate should be after 3 days, it doesn't cost much. We shall start with the first thing tomorrow. Don't bring your 14-day notice. That one, don't even forget. Why are courts there? Go. Huh? Yes, there is a procedural matter there.
When you look at Rule 16, suspension of rules, a member may, with the consent of the Speaker, move that a rule be suspended in its application to a particular motion before the House. And if the motion is carried, the rule in question shall be suspended. When you go to 2, this rule shall not apply in respect to Rule 6, 5, 6, 11, 12, 13, 1, 16, and 98. All other rules don't apply, can be suspended. Thank you.
And you seek to guide the House, and you rely on a rule. And you are stating that it is Rule 16 that provides for suspension of the rules. You are relying on the rules, and the rules is extensive. Do you think it makes sense for me to stand here and say I've suspended Rule 16 so that there is no suspension? That's what you are saying. So the rules are not read in isolation. And Madam Speaker, we are going in the right direction. The 3 days is contingent, and it doesn't hurt anything. I think it's the correct spirit, and everything.
Honorable.
Right, Honorable Speaker, in the interest of harmony, but while compliant with Rule 16 read by Honorable Kotogong that indicates which rules are entrenched and those not entrenched, I now beg to move another motion that Rule 204, Sub-Rule 5 and 6 entirely be suspended to allow debate on the report of this bill.
Procedure.
Is it seconded? The ayes have it. The debate is open. The debate is Sereko.
Madam's decision, and we are more than 50.
It's okay.
Right, we are challenging your decision. Just a second.
Okay.
Madam.
It's okay. Honorable Sereko.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I just want to bring it to your attention. Over 40 of us have stood to challenge your decision, and it's provided for in the rules that the Speaker's decision is actually challengeable, and there's a modus operandi. It starts by at least 40 members standing up, and from what I see, we are over 40. I would like to suggest that...
Order, Madam Speaker. Order.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm still concluding this matter. Right, Honorable Speaker, I would like to suggest that you give audience to these over 40 members that have stood.
Which 40 members?
More than 40 here, Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker, I can mention the names.
Honorable members.
Order.
Honorable members. But you wanted to debate.
Right, Honorable Speaker, you had wanted to know the 40 members. I can mention one by one by name.
Honorable members, listen. Honorable members, I want us to, one thing I can assure you, I am not going to put a question on second reading. That's one thing I can assure you. That is one thing I'm going to assure you. But I am telling you, let's exhaust a debate on this report.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Maybe the person I can give my assurance is him. Let's have a debate, then we come back and conclude the thing tomorrow.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members. Honorable members. Honorable members. Does it cost you anything to sit down? Our people are not responding. Honorable members, first tell your people to sit before I allow you to talk. No, you let them sit. Honorable members. Honorable members. I hope by tomorrow when some of you come, you will not be allowed in. I am saying, let's agree. Let your members sit.
Right, Honorable Speaker, just to give you assurance, this may up because they are defying you. That's number one. We are standing up in pursuit of the rules which provide for a modus operandi on how a decision or a ruling of the Speaker can be challenged. So it is not indiscipline for members to stand.
The members that will have the second reading tomorrow, first thing in the morning.
Actually, that's not the biggest, that's not the issue, right, Honorable Speaker.
Olanya, present your report. Olanya, present your report. Honorable Mr. Kema.
General for the financial year 2022-2023 on 37 district local governments, 3 cities, 6 divisions, and 10 municipal councils.
Honorable,
I have a procedural issue. I mean, no longer been standing.
you sit back and you bring your procedural issue there. Honorable Lanya.
Your Right Honorable Speaker.
And one thing I want to remind you, whether you go to heaven, morning tomorrow, 10, coffee will be here.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I am going to read the executive summary. The report is quite big. Because of time, I will deal majorly with the executive summary. On public accounts, on audited reports, on 17 district local government, 3 cities, 6 divisions, and 10 municipal council for the financial year ended June 2063, Clause 5A of the Constitution, and Rule 182, Clause 5 of our Rules of Procedure,
The Committee on Public Accounts, Local Government, considered the report of Auditor General for the financial year 2022-2023 and wishes to report its finding to this House. Right, Honourable Speaker, in the report, which will be categorized
Whom are you ordering now, Haji?
Right Honourable Speaker, for clarity and emphasis,
let Honorable Semuju.
Which talks about reconsidering the decision of the House. The rule provides that it will be out of order to attempt to reconsider a specific question upon which the House has come to a conclusion during the current session. I'm acutely aware during this current session, we came to a conclusion that UCDA should not be rationalized. And it is on record of Hansard. The rule guides how we must move if we intend to reconsider.
If you're buying time, you will sit here up to midnight.
Madam Speaker, I am entitled to
reconsider the
make my
NFA.
procedural.
You reconsider the NFA. Wasn't it passed in this very House?
We proceeded on NFA with full and blatant violation of the rules. I raised an issue here that we cannot. Proceed without amending, without moving that this rule should be suspended, and nobody listened to me.
And we are suspending the rule.
This house, Madam Speaker, we don't need to do double standards here. These rules are written for our guidance, and you are a custodian of the rules.
Honorable Kotogong.
You have not ruled on my matter.
It is because it doesn't deserve a ruling.
It does.
Madam Speaker, this is a bill. A bill is tabled to Parliament. It is referred to the committee. It is debated and passed, and is sent to the President. And the President can agree or disagree with certain provisions. And the bill can be returned. And the President has just returned the bill without comment that there are certain provisions that is not compatible with. And that is what Parliament is discussing. I think this is very clear.
Regarding the issue he raised about the session of Parliament, the Constitution of Uganda, the Constitution of Republic of Uganda, Article 97.
About the session. Session is after
yes,
1 year.
Article 95. Clause 4, a session of Parliament shall be held at least once a year, but the period between one session and the next session, the following session, shall be less than 12 months.
Yes, Ayo.
The first bill was presented to this House. We processed it. In some of the bills, we supported government position. In some of them, we rejected as Parliament. It went to President. He declined to assent to it. And that died there. So, government, first listen. Right Honourable Speaker, government again reintroduced the bill that was gazetted in another number, and it becomes completely...
Diana, come back.
So
Diana, come back.
When the bill was reintroduced...
Honourable members, I want members in the House.
The bill was regazetted with a different number, and it comes back to the House as a new bill. So to say the old bill is the same going by that rule, Right Honourable Speaker, that would be wrong. It's a total new bill that we are processing, and I think we will proceed and process the bill like we have done in other bill. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. But that's the reality. The other bill collapsed.
Specific question. I'm not talking about the bill. the question before and for determination of the speaker is the issue of rationalizing the entity was a question that this house had come to a conclusion.
There's a
on.
procedural issue
So,
a majority report and 2 minority reports. This house here is ready to debate the reports. Is ready to debate the reports. That opportunity is not being accorded because in your guidance, there is supposed to be suspension of rules. As we speak now, it seems we are now delving into the debate. Right, Honorable Speaker, wouldn't it be properly right to guide us on the way forward in as far as the debate of these reports is concerned?
Honorable members, I have said let Honorable Government Chief Whip move a motion to allow us debate.
For clarity, Rule 204, Sub-Rule 5A and B reads as follows. The report of a committee on a bill shall be uploaded on the Parliamentary Information System for the information of members before it is laid on table. And B, and more importantly, only be debated after the expiry of at least 3 days from the day it was laid on table by the chairperson or the deputy chairperson or a member nominated by the committee or by the speaker. It is upon this spirit that I stated that the justification for moving this motion falls under Rule 25 on the order of business in this House, where priorities are granted to businesses of government, rationalization bills being one of them. I therefore move that Rule 204, Sub-Rule 5B, be suspended to allow debate on the reports, both majority and minority, on this bill. I beg to move.
Is the rule seconded? Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Omara, by Rita, Lanyo, by the whole side.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the intent of the government chief whip in moving the motion, which is grounded in the rules. But when you read a law, it is required that you read it entirely. No rule stands on its own. Rule 204, Sub-Rule 5 that has been read must be read with Sub-Rule 6. And I will read. Sub-Rule 6 says, notwithstanding Sub-Rule 5, debate on the report may, in the discretion of the speaker, ensue. And A starts with if. If you interrogate legislative drafting, once the word if is put before the sentence, it is conditional. It's a precursor, it's contingent. And it says, if 3 or more days have elapsed since the report of the committee was uploaded on the Parliamentary Information System and a notification of existence of the report sent out to all members by the clerk. I asked the clerk to confirm that there was a notice sent in the prescribed form. And it adds, and these are the details. When there is a semicolon, Madam Speaker, yes, and this one I can refer you to authority. There is an international authority called Justice Crab, who wrote extensively on legal writing and legislative drafting. Once a semicolon is used and the word and, before you go to B, and, it means that the point in B is only in addition to satisfaction of A. And this is what B says. after it has been laid on the table by the chairperson. The chair laid the report today, or the deputy chairperson or a member nominated. Madam Speaker, our role here is to help you adjudicate on matters before us. 3 days in contentious matters in legislation, it is not a matter of do or die, in my opinion. It does not take away anything if we comply by these rules. But, and I have always raised this question here, whether you, Madam Speaker, when you adjudicate here, which side you sit on. If you sit as a neutral arbiter, and that's why you are seated in the middle, you are expected to accord both sides of the house a listening ear. Once it comes and it's apparent on the face of it, Madam Speaker, that you are not giving both sides an equal hearing, then it is only proper that I invite you to consider these options. In our Rule 78, it is prohibited for the presiding officer, the Speaker, to take part in debate. But I've seen an innovation that you have had here, where you and the deputy occasionally come and sit in this house. I would therefore advise that once a presiding officer has interest, let the other presiding officer come so that you can interchange. When you want to debate, you go and sit because you're a member of parliament. You're a member of parliament.
Honorable Dur, we report. We've not even started debating on this report. But if you want me to debate, I'll do it.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I am not talking, you see, debate in this house is defined.
Honorable members, we want the report to be debated upon. All you're doing is to block the report from being debated.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Let the reports be debated upon. A motion has been moved.
I actually have no powers to block debate here. You know that. And there are days I've objected to certain things and members, and you have decided otherwise. And it has taken the day. All I am doing is to bring to your attention, as the presiding officer of this house, that when a matter has come, and the rules has expressly stated it, you as the Right Honorable Speaker, you have no powers to throw away the rules and bring in something else. If you want to do that, then every day you need to come and give us a guideline.
So why have we thrown the rules?
The rule says you cannot proceed on the debate unless 3 days after tabling has been, and it cannot be suspended. It cannot be suspended. That's my submission.
Can I ask you, Honorable?
Madam Speaker, if you are reading the rule, and what I'm saying is, you don't read it in isolation. So the fact that there is a provision for suspension of the rules of procedure, it doesn't mean that all the rules are actually available to be suspended. That's the point I'm raising. And I am saying, after 3 days, it doesn't take anything for us. It actually saves the legal challenges that may come over this matter. But if it pleases, like it has always been, that it is easy to violate rules and laws which has put us in this office, then we shall proceed. It is not a personal matter. I'm just raising it so that we do things the right way, correctly, as a National Assembly of this House.
As a parliament, when a member is talking and we are interfering with the member on the floor.
Honorable members.
Nationalization of UCDA, there should be a transition for 5 years. And my justification is that we need...
Barada, you're not shouting at your co-wife.
Right, Honorable Speaker, we need a period of 5 to 10 years to establish the systems and structures that will lead us to get accreditation as a nation. Right, Honorable Speaker, I have proposed that in these 5 years, if of transition, the government of Uganda should provide adequate funding to promote coffee in the northern Uganda, including Lango, Acholi, Kalamoja, and West Nile. This area has been waiting for coffee for perennial cash crop for a long time. I've also made a recommendation, Right Honorable Speaker, that in these 5 years, UCDA should be provided additional money for coffee seedlings to the farmers that are required by farmers strategically to help us meet the 20 million bags and meet the target of 2030. Fourthly, government should put in place a fertilizer loan scheme to avail fertilizers to the farmers who need these fertilizers. Right Honorable Speaker, I've also proposed that government should expedite the establishment of the Food and Veterinary Drug Regulatory Agency. And it should be this agency in the future where we put coffee and other food crops that need regulation.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker.
There's a procedure matter.
Procedure.
Procedure.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we are discussing the bill, either to rationalize or not. We are not in those nitty-gritties of the advantages of the other side. So we need to know from Honorable Abed whether he's here to tell us to rationalize or not to rationalize, other than diverting us and taking us off the major topic. So,
Right Honorable Speaker, I represent the people of Masaka. We are a coffee growing area. I want to request the members of Parliament that when a honorable member of Parliament is presenting, we should be calm, we should allow to listen, and I want to remind you, we came here by our own right. Nobody should ever think that I can come on a microphone and you intimidate me.
Honorable
I represent
members,
the people of Masaka.
Honorable members, honorable member, Government Chief Whip, honorable members, there are actually three. One, you don't rationalize. And when you don't rationalize, you don't go into second reading. That's number one. Number two is that you rationalize and go and give it 3 years transition period. And in the 3 years, the minister will be required to bring a statutory instrument after the 3 years. That is the second scenario. The third scenario is a transition period of 5 years. Okay? Are we together? That is, we are, that's where we are. I will, Honorable Bua. Honorable Bua, Medi.
Right Honorable Speaker, from the explanatory memorandum presented for the 14 rationalization bills, the rationalization bills policy decisions of government, implying under Rule 25 of the Rules of Procedure of this House, they constitute
Is on
priority of government. Now, therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, with that justification, I beg to move that Rule 204, Sub-Rule 5, I beg to move.
Honorable members.
Sit.
Honorable members.
Sit. Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable member.
Hold on.
We are suspending to allow debate. We are going to allow debate. Allow debate. Honorable members, allow him to finish. Stop pointing at him like that. Move the motion.
Right.
Honorable Nsereko.
If Honorable Nsereko,
you sit.
the Member of Parliament for Kampala Central, could listen a little. Rule 204,
And
Sub-Rule.
honorable members. Honorable members.
I will sit, but I will come.
Let's have respect for each other. We are saying we want the rules to be suspended to allow you to debate. 204. Please come and see. Come and see.
No, I'm holding the floor. I am on the floor. No, I can't. You check Rule 205.
Honorable, can you sit? Can you have a seat? Suspend the rule.
I'm Right Honorable Speaker.
Suspend the rule, then we are.
Right Honorable Speaker.
There's a procedure. There's a
Right
procedure.
Honorable Speaker,
There's a procedure.
these rules. And I'm afraid where we are heading. When the Honorable Semoju raised on a matter of procedure, Madam, you guided that the Honorable Hamson Obua is also on procedure. Quite skillfully, ingeniously, but also dishonestly, the Honorable Obua did not move on the procedure, but went on motion. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, why I'm even more afraid,
Okay, what is the procedure matter?
when you guided that we are going to amend the rules, I got scared. To suspend the rules.
To allow debate.
Yes. I do not know how you knew that the Honorable Bua was moving to suspend. Is it not procedurally right? Is it not procedurally right that you first take the procedural question raised by a member?
You raise a procedural question.
Is it not procedurally right that you allow the member first to move
You
a
raise
procedural
the
issue?
procedural question.
I'm not moving a second procedural issue apart from the one I've moved.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, whether you shout, I'm not a social scientist.
Madam Speaker, I have I have taken...
Honorable members, can you listen to the procedural matter?
Madam Speaker, I have taken oath as an MP here at least 3 times. Each time taking 2 oaths. The first, the oath of Parliament. The procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, relates to no, the rules did not order in vain that when a member is speaking, you listen. They didn't order in vain. So I am waiting for members to keep quiet. I have on 3 occasions taken oath here, one of them being the oath of Parliament, and I think every MP has. We just define numbers. That oath assigns me a responsibility to protect the institution of Parliament, because without it, I am not there. Madam Speaker, the reports have been read. We took a decision here as an institution of Parliament and said, coffee, no. Wait, you former wealth creation staff. We took a decision here. We took a decision, Madam Speaker. I am waiting for silence to submit. The oath that I took, especially the one of Parliament, and I want you to rule and address this matter, Madam Speaker. This Parliament passed a budget here, just by a dot, by Mr. Museveni. You came here and changed it. You said, Coffee Development Authority must not go, and you took a decision here. I now sympathize with people who will be reading the Hansard of Parliament. They are going to ask simple questions. Was this the same Parliament? Which kind of Parliament is this one? That you take a decision today and tomorrow you come and fall on each other. So the question I am asking, Madam Speaker, the procedure issue. The procedure issue I am raising, not only for your interpretation, but also for protection I am asking you to address.
You ladies, why are you fighting for Balaam?
Madam Speaker, we have our men this side.
And for the integrity of this Parliament, I have listened to all the reports. None of the report is speaking about the fact that a decision was made on this matter. We now congregate here to rescind our own decision, the way we did with the budget. I am asking you, Madam Speaker, whether the MPs, one by one, not collectively, but one by one, who took one oath of Parliament that they will respect this institution.
What is the procedural matter?
I was laying the preamble. Whether, Madam Speaker, we don't need to first address what is now growing as a habit, that this Parliament can take a decision, they arm twist it, we come running and change it. That's the procedural issue I am raising, whether this Parliament can continue doing what it is doing, that you take a decision when you are shouted at, you come running and overrun your own decision.
Nobody has been shouted at. We have taken the bills are returned and we passed them again. And if this decision was made and it was returned and said we need this bill to be passed, why are we fearing to pass it? It is in our rules. Yes.
Semuju is questioning this parliament that a few months ago, this parliament moved a motion that UCDA shouldn't be rationalized and that it should stay. The same parliament today made a decision that NFA, which had been saved by this parliament, today, the same parliament said that NFA goes. Does Honorable Semuju have the moral authority to say that this parliament just changes when he himself has just changed from FDC to a new party which cannot have even 5 members?
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity, and I want to remind the honorable members in the House. Right Honorable Speaker, UCDA, the main mandate of UCDA is to regulate all on-farm and off-farm activities in the coffee value chain, to promote and oversee the quality, and I want to underline the word, the quality of coffee along the value chain, to support research and development, promote production, and improve the marketing of coffee stakeholders in the country. It should be noted that UCDA's main mandate is regulatory and important to ensure compliance with the export requirements and the international food safety standards. Anything that compromises UCDA will compromise our standards and our markets. UCDA is further mandated with the development and establishment of a traceability system intended, among others, to comply with EU deforestation regulation, which is of recent. There is also a requirement of corporate sustainability and due diligence directives. The traceability system, which is a regulatory tool, is supposed to register all participants in the coffee value chain. And it is UCDA that is mandated with that role. We observe that the current UCDA, that currently it is UCDA that is best positioned in terms of professional knowledge, human resource, systems, and accreditations to handle the mandate of quality assurance. And I want to ask the honorable members to underline the word accreditations. And all regulation requirements necessary for coffee value chain and international trade. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to elaborate on the accreditation. It takes 5 systems to be accredited internationally, 5 to 10 years. And accreditation involves pre-accreditation, application, desk review, on-site survey, and accreditation decision. That requires 5 to 10 years. The moment we tamper with UCDA, we are going to lose this accreditation. And it is not true that the minister will get the accreditation the next year. We need 5 to 10 years. Mainstreaming UCDA into MAIF risks compromising quality control and regulation, which will negatively affect coffee trade and markets. This will adversely impact on the coffee export from Uganda and our global competitiveness. We are going to be affected. We don't want to try what the neighbors in Kenya and Ethiopia tried and they failed. They rationalized their boards and they were terribly affected. MAIF, and I'm talking about Minister of Agriculture, in its current form, lacks capabilities, systems, and structures to handle coffee quality regulations and the stringent trade requirements for the markets in the coffee trade. MAIF does not have that capacity now. UCDA is designated as a center of Robusta excellence by the Coffee Quality Institute, which is an international institute, in addition to certification and accreditation of UCDA Coffee Laboratory in Rugogo. These tools are very important for our markets. We note that rationalization of UCDA may lead to loss of certifications and accreditations, thus affecting coffee markets. Right Honorable Speaker, there are best practices. In all countries, my colleagues have already mentioned them, all top countries which export coffee, none of them do so by regulating quality through the main ministry. They use agencies. Recommendations. We recommend that rationalization of UCDA, if done, it should be with a transition period of 5 years to allow Right Honorable, I must be protected.
Honorable members. Honorable members.
Raises the following fundamental issues which the committee interrogated. 1, whether they are mandated. While considering the National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024, the committee held meetings with stakeholders like Buganda Caucus Parliamentary Team, Bugisu Caucus Parliamentary Group. We had Dutchmen from Buganda Kingdom, Bunyoro Kingdom, and other coffee farmers organizations and groups. We also had petitions from others like Banya Kanungu Coffee Farmers Cooperative Union and others. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, findings, observation, and recommendations of the committee were based on the 3 questions that I put earlier. 1 was whether there were mandate overlaps between UCDA and MAIF. The committee established that UCDA derives its mandate from the National Coffee Act 2021. Under Section 4 and 5, the functions of UCDA are to regulate all on-farm and off-farm activities in the coffee value chain, promote and oversee the quality of coffee along the value chain, support research and development, promote production and improve the marketing of coffee to optimize earnings for coffee stakeholders in the country. The committee notes that UCDA plays a pivotal role in overseeing coffee quality to ensure compliance with export contracts and international food safety standards. Quality management spans from seed to cup, which includes regulating planting materials, production, harvest, post-harvest practices, and processing to meet international standards. The committee further notes that in order to sustain the European market that constitutes 65% of Uganda coffee sales, UCDA developed a traceability system intended to support the sector to comply with the requirement of the European Union Deforestation and Corporate Sustainability and Due Diligence Directives, whose deadline is on 1st January 2025. This traceability system will register coffee value chain actors, farmers, nursery operators, processors, roasters, and exporters. Failure to meet the European Union deadline will lead to loss of market for 65% of the country's coffee exports. The committee concluded that there is no duplication of UCDA mandate with MAIF or any other government agency. The committee observed that the coffee sector is an important export earner that should be independently regulated to meet the demands of the export market. The civil service mode of operation and service delivery cannot efficiently undertake and deliver this mandate. This is important to note that UCDA has increased the production volume of coffee from 3.5 million 60 kilogram bags in 2014-15 to 8.06 million 60 bags currently, with a medium-term target of 20 million bags by 2029-30. Merging the mandate and abolishing UCDA at this time risks derailing this very critical target of the coffee roadmap. Another tool that we used was to find out whether UCDA has served the purpose for which it was established. The committee established that Uganda is currently one of the African top coffee exporters, with the revenue earnings rising from USD 883.3 million to USD 952.24 million from November 2021 to October 2022. Uganda recorded its highest coffee export of 6.26 million tons of 60 kilogram bags in 2021-2022 from 5.83 million tons of 60 bags in 2020-2021. The committee notes that government of Uganda has committed itself to achieving a target of producing 20 million 60 kilogram bags of coffee by 2030 as per the coffee roadmap. UCDA has distributed 475,098 coffee seedlings during the last 5 years, benefiting 937,605 farmers. This is likely to increase production from the current 8.16 million 60 bags in 2022-2023 to 13.7 million 60 kilograms from the current 8.1 bags in 2026-2027 as the country looks towards achieving the coffee roadmap. The committee notes that the coffee sector employs 12 million people, nearly 25% of Ugandan's population. Uganda Coffee Profile, that is 2018, along the value chain, and this is expected to grow as more investment is attracted, especially in value addition activities. Therefore, the international traceability and social inclusion warrants stronger regulations to meet market standards, which UCDA is effectively delivering. Quality assessment is a highly specialized technical field that is evaluated in two ways: a physical evaluation of the green and roasted coffee, and a sensory evaluation of the roasted beverage, which has been a core function of UCDA that has led to compliance by coffee producers and dealers with established standards. As a result of improved quality control, Uganda coffee has been ranked third in the world after Kenya and Ethiopia. Other milestones registered by UCDA include designation as a Center of Robusta of Excellence by the Coffee Quality Institute, in addition to certification and accreditation of the UCDA Coffee Laboratory in Logogo by CQI. In line with Section 38 of the National Coffee Act, the UCDA determines and regulates the types and varieties of coffee to be grown in different regions. This is informed by research conducted by National Coffee Research Institute, NACORI, with funding from cess collected by UCDA. This funding has greatly contributed to the coffee research and development agenda. Notably, the breeding of 10 coffee wilt disease-resistant varieties, which are also high-yielding, and the construction of the biotechnology laboratory at Logogo. UCDA also provides timely market information to stakeholders and monitor coffee prices on a daily basis, including price changes on the London and New York commodity exchanges, and translate these prices into equivalent local prices on a daily basis. Committee observation. Coffee requires swiftness and high level of efficiency, which is best provided under the agency model. Despite the commendable achievement by UCDA, the task ahead is enormous and requires empowering and supporting the successor agency to sustain, consolidate, and build on UCDA achievements. Mainstreaming UCDA into MAIF immediately risks compromising quality and research efforts and may lead to information asymmetry. It would also jeopardize critical functions, leading to adverse effect on Uganda coffee export and competitiveness. The committee notes that countries like Kenya and Ethiopia, which attempted immediate rationalization from the agency model to the ministry, suffered setbacks resulting into reduced coffee production for export. These countries have since reverted to the agency model. The committee is of the view that the mandate of UCDA, being a going concern, as it promotes one of our key export earners, that has a multiplier effect throughout the economy, is better served by the agency model in the interim, as the ministry builds capacity to seamlessly take over the mandate of UCDA. UCDA contribution to the Treasury. The committee was informed that UCDA contributes to the National Treasury through collection of non-tax revenue, which is remitted to the Consolidated Fund. Over the years, UCDA contribution to the National Treasury has been growing. For example, in the financial year 2023-2024, UCDA was allocated 44,756,000,000, while it contributed 82,253,000,000 to the National Treasury. In conclusion, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, given the above achievement and commitments, the committee recommends that UCDA be rationalized subject to a 3-year transition period to enable MAIF build capacity to execute the mandate that is under UCDA. The committee further recommends that during the transition period, the minister,
Honourable members, can you listen?
This is something very important. Right Honourable, I want to repeat.
You repeat the conclusion.
And I beg my colleagues to be calm. Time will come for the above achievement and commitment of UCDA. The committee recommends that UCDA be rationalized subject to a subject to a 3-year transition period to enable MAIF build capacity to execute the mandate that is under UCDA.
Honourable members, I will not allow.
Furthermore, the committee recommends that during the transition period, the Ministry of Agriculture updates Parliament biannually on progress towards attainment of the requisite capacity to undertake the mandate of UCDA. Upon a satisfactory progress report to Parliament, the Minister responsible for Agriculture shall submit a statutory instrument for approval of Parliament to commence the Act. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, I beg to report.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. The Shadow Minister of Agriculture, together with a number of members on this committee, and that is Honorable John Paul Mpalanyi, Honorable Santa Okot, Honorable Stella Isodo, Honorable Kabugo Florence, Market Risk Assurance.
Honorable members, listen.
Right Honorable Speaker, we do still note that mainstreaming this very critical and specialized agency, the Uganda Coffee Development Authority, into the parent ministry will compromise and affect the delivery of the technical and regulatory functions this agency has been undertaking since its inception by an Act of Parliament in 1991. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the main objective of this bill is to ensure that UCDA is no more, is abolished. And Right Honorable Speaker and members, the moment that the majority of this House
UCDA is not going to be abolished, but it's going to be absorbed in the ministry. I don't want us to misinform people out and play to the gallery.
Right Honorable Speaker, the bill.
Now, what are you shouting about? What are you shouting about?
Right Honorable Speaker, with your wise guidance,
let's use the right words, not playing to the gallery.
The main objective of this bill is
to
dissolve UCDA into the mother ministry. Right Honorable Speaker, in scrutinizing the bill, the minority views were guided by the following questions as per the objective of rationalization.
And I don't want you to imagine that
one of the main objective of rationalizing UCDA into the mother ministry was whether the funding of the UCDA is a wasteful expenditure or it causes financial drain to the economy. Right Honorable Speaker, 100%, not at all. The funding of UCDA is not a wasteful expenditure. Instead, it greatly outperformed according to its mandate, which was given to it by that Act of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, the minority noted that UCDA is a net save as it contributes heavily to the consolidated fund. And Right Honorable Speaker, we note that in financial year 2023-2024, UCDA brought in Uganda shillings 82.25 billion in form of net R to the consolidated fund. Yet its budget was only 44.76 billion Uganda shillings. UCDA is therefore a net saver. Right Honorable Speaker, this sector employs 12.5 million Ugandans. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the coffee subsector contributed 55.5 to the total agricultural export in the financial year 2023-2024. But it also has so far remitted 44.81 billion to the consolidated fund against the annual target of 83.61 billion, reflecting 54% performance. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, UCD has increased the production of volumes of coffee from 4.03 million 60 bags in financial year 2015-2016
yes,
to 8.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Exams. How you said right talks differently and conclude on the other U-turn. The Speaker, isn't it procedure right for us that the pre-current member who is submitting a minority report gives us the point of departure, which is a conclusion, because the rest of the things are actually the same, and we agree.
Dissolving UCDA risks failing the very critical target of achieving the said roadmap. Therefore, UCDA does not drain the treasury, and instead it strongly supports it. Right Honorable Speaker, because of Uganda Coffee Development Authority's efforts, Uganda coffee subsector has been rated number 2nd in Africa and 7th in the whole world. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue was whether the mandate overlaps the ministry, the Ministry of Agriculture's mandate. Right Honorable Speaker, the mandate of the two entities totally do not overlap at all. The Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Agriculture's mandate is to formulate, review, implement national policies, plan, strategies, regulations, standards, and enforce laws, regulations, and standards along the value chain crops, livestock, and fisheries, while the mandate of UCDA is an autonomous, self-sustaining entity mandated to promote and oversee the coffee value chain by supporting research, promoting production, controlling the quality, and improving the marketing of coffee in order to optimize foreign exchange earnings for the country and payments to the farmers. UCDA's regulatory role, which includes certification of nurseries, inspection and licensing of processors, traders, stores, factories, grading facilities, roasters, and exporters, is still very crucial in maintaining the coffee quality at all levels of the value chain. And as per this role is concerned, Right Honorable Speaker, it's very crucial to note that it is a very crucial role that no any other agency of government, not even the Ministry of Agriculture, has ever performed. Right Honorable Speaker, on the question of whether UCDA, Uganda Coffee Development Authority, has served the purpose for which it was established, yes, 100%. UCDA has performed its mandate effectively and efficiently. Right Honorable Speaker, UCDA has even outperformed, according to the other figures that I've been reading to you in the whether it drains the Speaker, UCDA's regulatory role, which includes Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. The minority report noted that Uganda Coffee Development Authority employs a total number of 159 staff, all on contract basis, and out of this, approved structure of 263 staff, with majority of these staff still having more than 3 years remaining on their contracts. Right Honorable Speaker, the certificate of financial implication indicates that 47 staff, that is 29.6%, will be laid off as a result of the amendment at Uganda shillings 3.4 billion cost in terminal benefits. The revised structure by the Ministry of Public Service provides for only 75 staff, leaving 35 staff from Uganda Coffee Development Authority not to be laid off and yet not observed anywhere. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, what will happen if the Right Honorable Speaker, what will be the fate of those staffs after the 3 years, as is in the bill? Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda Coffee Development Authority was allocated 67.99 billion in financial year 2024-2025, and this budget was 44.76 billion in financial year 2023-2024. However, the certificate of financial implication indicates that the net saving as a result of rationalization will amount to Uganda shillings 82.19 billion in financial year 2024-2025. Right Honorable Speaker, then to UGX 85.59 billion in 2025-2026. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, this means that the projected savings are even more than the approved budget. Right Honorable Speaker, this can't be, thus renders the certificate of financial implication inaccurate, and thereafter should be withdrawn and the proper financial implication laid before this Honorable House. Right Honorable Speaker, the certificate of
Madam Speaker, my procedure issue is
filed to the ministry will continue drawing wages and operation non-wages, which the certificate of financial implication does not put into account. It only considers the terminal benefits for the laid-off staff. Right Honorable Speaker, risks if Uganda Coffee Development Authority is rationalized. Right Honorable Speaker, if Uganda Coffee Development Authority, an internationally accredited by the US-based Coffee Quality Institute, and was awarded an ISO 17025 certification and Kena's certification after a thorough analysis of the systems at the UCDA. It is also designated as a center of robust excellency, which coordinates standards, training, grading, and quality improvement in collaboration with the Coffee Quality Institute of the USA. That is the regulatory risk that I'm talking about. Right, Honorable Speaker, mainstreaming UCDA will automatically nullify the recognition of UCDA of Uganda as an international center of robust excellence. This will pose a risk to the implementation of protocols with diverse effects on the coffee subsector, such a loss of markets that employs 12.5 million households. And Right Honorable Speaker, certification and accreditation requires a very rigorous process of building systems, personnel, and continuous inspections by the accrediting bodies. And because the markets have become more selective with the introduction of the requirement of traceability, UCDA is a recognized body that can only implement this commitment. Right Honorable Speaker, we should also keep in mind that in all successful coffee producing countries, coffee is regulated under a specialized agency. The agency model has proven to be efficient in coffee producing giants like Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia, among others. And Right Honorable Speaker, I'm almost concluding. The Tea Authority, among others, with other 117 crops under the Ministry of Agriculture. By 2021, the President issued an executive order to introduce the coffee board after the collapse of coffee production by 70%. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues,
Honorable members, can we listen?
our second observation is on the market risk. Colleagues, Uganda exports 65% of its coffee to the European Union, which requires the country to comply with the European Union deforestation regulation and corporate sustainability due diligence directives. The deadline takes effect on 1st January 2025, and failure to comply with the deadline, a country may lose 65% of its coffee market that is exported to the European Union. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, mainstreaming UCDA is to undermine efforts of profiling, characterizing, and promoting Uganda coffee, which has made it possible to penetrate new markets, including Maghreb states, Asia, Gulf states, China, Korea, USA, and attempts in Russia. Right Honorable Speaker, any disruption to the sustained promotion and marketing of Uganda's coffee brand will reduce the market share in these countries. Since the ministry's efforts to look for new markets for other cash crops like tea, tobacco, vanilla, and others under their direct supervision have registered zero success. Right Honorable Speaker, you all know that we have failed at deteriorating prices of tea. Investors are running away to the neighboring countries, and the rise of maize prices, rice, tobacco, sugarcane, and others, all this under the supervision of the ministry. Right Honorable Speaker, contrary to the justification for rationalization of agencies, Uganda Coffee Development Authority is an autonomous and unduplicated revenue-generating agency capable of sustaining its operations without funding from government, and therefore should totally not be rationalized. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we should also keep in mind that in all successful, now I'm in the conclusions, that in all the coffee producing countries, coffee is regulated under specialized agencies. The agency model has proven to be efficient in coffee producing giants, as I mentioned, the other countries like Brazil, Vietnam, and Colombia. And examples of these coffee boards, they have really stood hard on the market of their coffee farmers. So, Right Honorable Speaker, seeing the achievements of all these countries which have been successful with the agency model, Uganda cannot achieve much without applying the agency model, and hence a reason to reject the Uganda Coffee Development Authority rationalization back to the mother ministry. Right Honorable Speaker, The minority report noted that mainstreaming of Uganda Coffee Development Authority will automatically nullify, as I have told you, UCD of Uganda as an international center of robust experience, excellency, and this will pose a risk to the implementation of the protocols with diverse effect on the coffee subsector, such as the loss of market that employs 12.5 million households. Right Honorable Speaker, certification and accreditation requires a rigorous process. All these without the agency called Uganda Coffee Development Authority, we are likely to lose them. And that's a reason for rejection of the amendment bill of UCDA 2024. Right Honorable Speaker, the coffee quality, quantity, ready market availability, and technical expertise assurance to the subsector is not guaranteed if Uganda Coffee Development Authority is rationalized. So the minority report notes risks and therefore a reason to reject this rationalization of the UCDA to the main mother ministry. Right Honorable Speaker, the minority report recommends that this Honorable House do reject the rationalization of Uganda Coffee Development Authority as it is going to affect the subsector and the entire economy, but also the 12.5 million Ugandans earning a livelihood, educating their children, and also sustaining themselves at family level from the coffee subsector. Right Honorable Speaker, therefore, it's very evident in the proposed amendment bill, the Uganda Coffee Development Authority 2024 under clause 59(4), clause 4, that there is no assurance of employment continuity for the staff, and therefore it's going to also affect the subsector where those farmers, the 12.5 million people, do earn a livelihood. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, when the Coffee Marketing Board was terminated in favor of Uganda Coffee, finalizing, in favor of the Coffee Development Authority, and finally to Coffee Act of 2021, all these processes, government invested in huge sums of monies, and those who were there can attest that UCDA's achievements is a million reasons why we also reject rationalization of this entity. Right Honorable Speaker and members, why the rush? Why the rush, Honorable Speaker and colleagues? Why take back a very critical and uniquely expertised outperforming baby back to the mother ministry that is in intensive care unit? Right Honorable Speaker, do we want to kill the coffee sector?
What is in intensive care unit? Honorable members, you don't chorus like you're in a national theatre. What is in intensive care unit?
Right Honorable Speaker, given the ineffectiveness...
Honorable members.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Listen. This ministry is under you, oversight over this ministry. So you left it to be under ICU. No, we need to be, honorable members, we need to be calculative in the words that we use. Huh?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for your wise guidance that... Right Honorable Speaker, the minority report therefore notes that the justification for rationalizing Uganda Coffee Development Authority is not reasonable, and the 12.5 million Ugandans earning a livelihood in coffee demand that the bill entitled the Uganda Coffee Development Authority Amendment Bill 2024 should not be passed. It should be rejected by this Honorable House. And therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, the minority report strongly rejects personalization of Uganda Coffee Development Authority into the mother ministry. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I beg to report.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Abedi. Government's efforts towards rationalization of public entities and expenditure. The National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024 was tabled on 24th September 2024. The committee is ready with the report. However, we'll give the minister to move the motion. Honorable Minister.
I beg to move that the bill entitled National Coffee Amendment Bill 2024 be read for the second time.
Seconded. Honorable Lanyo, Nekesa, Silwanyi, Noah, Gerald, Emmanuel, by the majority on this side.
Coffee Development Authority has been an agency under
Honorable members,
under
Solomon, can you move away from there? Yes. Why are you disturbing Helen?
UCDA has been an agency under Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries responsible for regulating the coffee sector. In the spirit of rationalization, Right Honorable Speaker and members, we want to rationalize the agency to create efficiency and also to, in line with the shift of government policy of operating efficiently without compromising the functions of regulation and the capacity of human resource. I beg to move.
Thank you.
1 to 9, clause 1 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament. The bill aims at dissolving the Uganda Coffee Development Authority and mainstreaming the functions of the authority into the ministry responsible for agriculture, and dissolving the UCDA and its secretariat established by the Act. The committee scrutinized the bill in accordance with the rules of procedure, and I now beg to report. Colleagues, we all know the background of rationalization, but I would like to give the background of UCDA. The National Coffee Act, Cap 38, mandates the UCDA to regulate both on-farm and on-farm activities in the coffee value chain. We all know the objects and justification of the bill. It's okay. It's